What does it mean to raise the veil? What does it mean? What does it mean to you? You know, whenever Unity is a teaching of metaphysics, spiritual metaphysics, and whether it be the Bible or anything that I say, anything that your self-empowerment spiritual books say, whatever your favorite podcaster is saying, whatever it is, they are saying things, right? Words are coming out of their mouth, through their pen, through their typing, whatever it is. Their inspired vision for what their truth is and their message that they want to convey to you. And yet the absolute truth is that you, each and every one of you individually, get to choose what it means for you. I'm raising the veil. For me, I'm raising the veil. Means I am willing to step out of my egoic behavior, to put aside any of my complaints, any of my owies, whatever it may be, any grudges, to take a breath and set that aside and go within, between me and my God. What does it mean to you? I'm raising the veil. About a month ago, this talk title came to me today of don't drink the Kool-Aid, be who you really are. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, be who you really are. Don't step into line just because it's the popular thing to do. Follow your heart, follow your truth, follow what is real for you. My daughter always asks me what I'm speaking about, and we toss around, we workshop it, and we have fun doing that. And I told her what my talk title was, and she went, "Oh my God, Mom, seriously? You're going to do that?" I went, "What?" She goes, "Hello." She said, "That's Jonestown." I went, "Oh." So if any of you went there, my apologies. But then as I thought about it, and I looked it up, it's like, seriously, that's where that phrase comes from? And I'm not going to revisit the story for you. You can look it up if you need to. It's 1978. Jim Jones. So she and I talked about that, and I commiserated with it, and it's like, oh gosh, and this and that. And then as I sat with it, for my own personal life, I'll make it personal about me in the moment. The Jones family is from the same town that I'm from in Lynn, Indiana. It's where he went to school. He was classmates with my aunt. I lived right across the alley from the family. My whole life growing up until I moved out at 19. They were our neighbors. And I moved out before all of that happened, but what is interesting was at the time that the incident happened, I was living 30 minutes away, and with my daughter and I were living in an apartment in Richmond, Indiana, and it just happened that the wife of Jim Jones, she was from that town I was living in, and her parents lived right across the alley from me. I've never been able to figure out that serendipitous, what does that mean? Except for coming to this talk today going, because the emphasis of my talk is about what beliefs are you holding on to that are not uniquely yours. How much of what informs you and your life is based on how you were raised, the school that you were educated in. And I have a lot of good things to say about my upbringing and the school that I went to, but I can also tell you that I have some pretty, language, Twyla, deep wounds based on that. I try not to live my life from that place, but there are moments in time that things come up and it'll take me back into a memory. And it was last week or the week before, I kept all of a sudden, and I'm not going to share this story with you because it's grim. It has to do with me from the way that it impacted me without me fully understanding how much it impacted me until like 2 weeks ago. And I went, oh, because at the time I'm going, why is this memory coming to me? Yes, I am leaving for Indiana this week. I'll be with my family. Leslie's speaking next week. Haywood's speaking the week after that, by the way, just so you know. So yes, I know that I am going home. But it caused me a moment of reflection of this memory of that time as an adult before I moved away and moved to California, of how deeply this very frightening experience that happened to a colleague of mine affected me. We carry memories, is what I'm getting at. And perhaps you have some of those. Carried memories. And they show up in our lives, perhaps in times of stress, also in times of celebration, right? But we get to pay attention and we don't want to be so caught up in living in our memories that we forget to live in the present moment, but to be wise enough when we start to have feelings and emotions and different things come up for us to go, okay, what is going on for me right now in this moment? Maybe it's just about that moment, but maybe it's more than that. And at times like that, we step aside, we close our eyes, and we raise the veil. And we remember who we truly are. I can tie every one of these songs and M into this talk. I know who you really are. I can see it in your eyes. You are a shining star. I know who you really are. But while you're holding that for someone else, can you also hold it for yourself? Both are important. But if you cannot hold it for yourself, then of course you cannot truly hold it for another person. But because we are all one loving presence, we get to take a moment to be compassionate, to be quiet, to not push our way through life, to not have expectations of others that are based on our personal agenda, but to be able to show up and behold the Christ in another person, and to be able to ask questions. Oh, is there something? It seems that you're off balance, upset. Is there any place where you need support right now? instead of going immediately into reaction. I'm going to try and stay on a thread, but my heart and my thinking mind are just, so bear with me. To remember who we truly are. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars, Max Ehrmann from Desiderata. This is who you are. And from that place, you are free to make your decisions, to make your choices, to not have your politics still have vestiges of the family ancestry of political viewpoints, unless you want to. But at least be observant of it, right? Don't just jump on the family bandwagon or the cultural bandwagon. Allow yourself to be free thinking and to be that individual of who you truly are. Imelda Shanklin, in her book, What Are You?, talks about this, where she asked a young man, see if I can find it quickly. What are you? Until you can answer this question promptly and correctly at any time that is asked of you, you do not know yourself well enough to trust yourself, to be happy, to be assured of continued safety and well-being. I meet an intelligent appearing, upstanding young man, and I ask him, what are you? He looks puzzled. I repeat the question. Then he smiles pleasantly, thinking that I have not correctly worded the query. He informs me I am Johnny Doe. To himself, he adds, 22 years of age, popular law student, a man you will hear from later. And that's lovely. That's beautiful, but that's not what she asked. She didn't ask, who are you? She asked, what are you? What are you? You are a child of the universe, deserving of so much. Got Friedrich Bachmann fans in here? If not, I beg you to find this man, a man called Ova. I read his book, My Friends, this week. Again, the universe lining up. Twyla, talk material. Twyla, this. The spirit comes. When you come into a place where you are setting intentions and envisioning, the universe comes up to support you. In his book, My Friends, one of the people says, don't be afraid to be a human being. Be proud. Inside you, one vault after another opens endlessly, and that is as it should be. There is so much to you, so much capacity, so much capability, so much beauty. And we deserve to live that life, to show up. I could not find this quote, even though Tomas Kunstroma was said, I could not find that, but it is from this book. What we consistently hold in consciousness shapes how divine life flows through us. Belief is not wishful thinking. Belief is alignment. Alignment with love, wisdom, courage. Alignment with infinite possibility. Alignment with the one mind. We raise the veil. And we remember who we truly are. These are affirmations from Imelda Shanklin's book. I am an idea in the mind of God. I let God's idea express in me. I am the mind of God. I let the mind of God inform me of my identity. My body is the substance of God, manifesting in correspondence with God ideas. Truth, wholeness, oneness, perfection. Again, from my friends. You mustn't think about the fact that it might end, because then you live like a coward. You never love too much or sing too loudly. To live your life fully and wholly on your understanding, based on your heart, on your spiritual heart, aligned with your God, with the God of your understanding. And my prayer is that that is always from a place of love and compassion and generosity and kindness. Within the book, my friends, it's about friends. And it's this group of 4 friends. And it goes from childhood, young teens, to adults. It goes back and forth. And every morning as they come together, they check in here, here, here. In the evening, when they go their separate ways, it's tomorrow, tomorrow. And one of the things that shows up repeatedly in the book that these 14 and 15-year-olds are telling each other, they say to each other, these are all what would be considered misfit children. Don't fit into the norm, whatever that seems to be. I believe in you. I trust you. Can you say this to yourself for yourself? I'm here. I'm here. And I will be here tomorrow for myself, as for others. But I am here for me to remember who I am, and I believe in me, and I trust me. Can you do that for yourself? It's easy to hold it for others, but oftentimes it's hard to find that place within ourselves. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. Love yourself fully, and so it is.